I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Are you ready for more with the amazing Steve Blum? Here we go. Steve, you have so many memorable characters. We talked a little bit about Spike and Cowboy Bebop, Wolverine, of course, and you're known for those real deep, throaty, aggressive types, but then you have Guilmon and Digimon, which is such a departure from that sound that you really have mastered. So what was it like creating that character, and can you give us a little Guilmon sample?
I've been doing Guilmon since I was a little kid, and if I was going to do the voiceover as a kid, I would have thought that's what I would have done.
I did voices like Guilmon and Goofy and all these really crazy characters when I was a kid, and I never thought that I would have a deep enough voice that would actually play real enough to do bad guys or superheroes. So it was kind of a joke to me when I first started booking that stuff. I thought, no, you got the wrong guy. You should be calling.
Did your voice all of a sudden just drop? Did you like wake up one day and go?
No, that's the thing.
How did that?
I've always had a deep voice, but I didn't think that I could pull it off because I don't look like my voice sounds. I mean, I play a lot of really gnarly characters, and I don't really have that look. You know,
I don't know. You kind of do, dude.
Really?
Yeah, you got the cap. I mean, you look like one of those guys.
If the alley's dark enough, you could be scary.
Yeah, if the alley's dark enough, a little
had
makeup,
a couple beers,
put a little dirt in your face, I'd be afraid right now.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Just saying.
Awesome. Without weapons.
Scare
even.
easily, though.
I just didn't take myself very seriously that way.
Yeah.
So playing characters like Guilmon was awesome for me because that's what felt fun and it was child friendly, and I always wanted to do stuff for kids. When my kids were really little, I would read for their preschools, and that's how I learned to do a lot of the voices.
Right.
And a lot of those were sort of Dr. Seuss things and happy, sweet little characters. And so I thought if I ever did do voiceover and somebody was going to pay me for that, that's what I'd do. I never dreamed that I'd get to do badass guys.
Well, and so many of the games you do are the war games and the dying sounds. And how do you take care of your voice? I mean, does that really kill your voice, or is that just
No, it really kills the voice. Yeah. I mean, when you're doing that for hours at a time, there's really nothing that you can do to escape the damage. And I know how to breathe and I know how to do it properly, but after 2 hours of that stuff, you're going to have pieces of flesh flying out of your throat. So I have Chinese herbal throat drops that I'm nursing on throughout the sessions and drinking a ton of water and sleep more than anything else. I just have to go to sleep. And I think we were saying this before, my body feels like I've been through the war zone after I've done that. Muscles ache that I didn't even know I flexed. As though I were in that battle, as though I've thrown every punch, whether it was psychologically or physically. But the brain doesn't really distinguish the two.
Have you ever done any motion capture for your characters?
A little bit, yeah. I did it very early on when
the
motion
unitard
capture was
freaked
just,
you out. You don't want to.
I look pretty good in the unitard. the balls all over. Yeah, no.
You're like, no, I don't.
I don't. That's why. No.
Okay.
No, that didn't really freak me out. What freaked me out more than anything else is memorizing lines, oddly enough, because I've never had to do that. I don't know how you do that, honestly. It's a skill that I never developed. I never had to. And memorizing the lines and the physicality of all that, I felt like I couldn't give as strong a vocal performance doing that as I could in the booth, making it up after the fact. And because my training is in looping, actually matching the lip flaps after the fact, I've looped for a lot of mocap stuff that's been shot. And I feel like I can finesse it so it really sounds perfect without having to do all of that movement. So for me, I'd rather leave it to the younger guys, and I would have preferred to do my own stunts, and I'm getting older now, and I don't want to break anything. It's just not worth it to me.
He's getting older. He looks like he's 28 years old.
Don't
it's like,
I don't
want to break anything. I would like to know, because, I mean, you've learned a lot in the past few years now that you've been doing voiceover. If somebody out there, has some talent and maybe video games and anime is something that they really aspire to do, what would you recommend they do to put them on a good path to success?
Well, first of all, I think that there's some homework that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And there's resources out there now that are free and available that weren't back when we were starting. And I have a little page on my website. On the front page of my website, it says, "How do I become a voice actor?" You click on that link. It's steveblumvoices.com. You go there, click on the link, and it'll give a page of basically starter information with a bunch of links to free stuff that you can do.
Very cool.
And D. Bradley Baker has written this fantastic blog that it's unbelievable. He updates it all the time. And it'll guide you
I want to
step
be
by
a
step.
voiceactor.com, right?
That's what it is. Exactly.
That's what it is.
And Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt also wrote a book called Voiceover Voice Actor. And it's very inexpensive and will save a newbie thousands and thousands of dollars and years of heartache.
Yeah.
And once you read through that and understand what it is to be a voice actor, you may not want to do it because it's not glamorous. It's really, and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of patience and a very, very thick skin.
Yeah.
And you got to do it because you love it. You can't do it to get famous and you can't do it to get rich.
Right.
Because chances are neither will happen.
Right.
So the best advice I would give is if you love acting, period, you have to be an actor first.
Yeah.
Take acting classes, take improv classes, especially if you want to do voiceover. Improv is really a great skill to have because you're constantly having to switch it up, switch characters, dialects, personalities on the spot. Even if you study, even if you think you know what you're going in for, chances are you're going to be doing something different.
Yeah.
And just read as much copy as you can. Read for kids or read for your family or record yourself on your phone, you know, and play it back for your friends and family and people that will give you an honest opinion.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people try to.
That's the important part.
That's the thing. It's you got to do it with people that you trust.
Yeah.
And you know, some people just aren't built for it, and that's okay. You can still have fun doing it without getting paid for it. There's community theater. There's all kinds of ways to really, if that's what you're doing it for that charge and for that love of the craft of the art, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Then you can find that, and it doesn't have to be on the professional level necessarily.
That makes sense to me.
Logan Miller. Logan Miller says.
Logan Miller.
Logan, I like that name, bub.
Yeah, right?
Who would you cast in a live-action Cowboy Bebop movie?
Who would I cast? Oh, well, I'm not a casting guy.
I say Logan Miller.
Who would you cast as Spike, your character?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I'm not a casting guy, so I can't really even speak to that. But what I will say is that Keanu Reeves was actually attached to be Spike. And they wrote a script, and I actually met him in an airport a couple years ago, and the fans kind of went, "No, we don't know. You know, I don't know if that's going to work out." And you know, Spike is a very different kind of character, and based on the history of anime going into feature films, it hasn't gone very well. So fans were really, really hesitant if anybody was going to take it. Much less Keanu Reeves. And so
if Keanu did it, he would sound like this or something like
what
that.
One might
There's
think.
a bomb on the bus.
But you know what? I met him in.
I'm going to have to hurt you.
I met him in an airport. I met him in an airport, and the dude, first of all, he's really tall and he's really thin, and he's got the body type right away, and he can do the physicality of Spike.
Right.
And so, first of all, that was striking. And then, secondly, I went up to him kind of like a little fanboy, and I said, "Dude, I'm not completely geeking out on you. I just have to tell you that." You know, the fans have been talking about this for a long time. I just kind of wanted to get his perspective on it. And so I asked him, I introduced myself. He was really sweet. And he goes, "Dude, I wanted to meet you. I've heard about you. I've watched all the episodes. I'm actually really into this show." And he said that he was very, very invested in it. And I believe that he would do a really, really great job.
Yeah, he probably would.
And he's awesome. He's a really awesome guy.
Yeah.
And he said that the script was written, it was fantastic, but it would have cost $500 million to make.
Yeah.
And he was worried that by the time it did get greenlit, that he may not be able to do his own stunts. And he really wanted to do that for this.
Okay.
There's a lot of martial arts stuff involved, and it's very specific martial arts. And so, you know, if it does get greenlit, it would be fun to see. I'd be really interested to see what he would do.
Yeah.
And since he was their first pick,
there you go.
I'm not a casting guy, so who am I to say?
Yeah, perfectly said. You're a casting guy now.
Long answer to a short
Get
question.
down.
This is from Twitter. At Fallen Woman 1.
Oh.
At Fallen _Woman 1.
That's me. I ask myself this question.
You do look like a fallen woman, Steve. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. How do you direct yourself when recording at home?
I have voices in my head. It's really easy. Yeah.
Okay, next question.
No,
Who are we talking to right now?
That's actually a very, very good question.
Yes, it's a very good question.
Do you actually think about all the direction that you've had on certain things when you're at home, self-directing yourself? Or
Probably.
Yeah?
And then I throw all that away.
And you throw it away.
Yeah, but I'm an organic actor. I never had classical
Just whatever
training.
comes out.
So yeah, I look at a page, and if they give me a little model sheet of the character, what it looks like, or a little bit of description, that's really all I need to kind of dive in and go. And that's what I do in the session anyway. So, and oftentimes the director will let us do our first take anyway without saying anything. And then they'll kind of tweak it and nuance it.
But in general, you go with your first instinct. It's always right, and you don't overthink it.
Always first gut. Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
And then you make a couple other choices.
Yeah.
2 or 3 other choices.
Love it.
Have you ever thought about teaching?
Yes, I've thought about that. And I've decided that it's not for me right now in my career, just because I'm so busy.
Yeah, and you are, but you would make a great teacher, man.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I would love to. I would really love to. I just feel that if I'm going to do that, I have to invest myself fully into doing it. And there are guys like Crispin Freeman who has a curriculum. I mean, Crispin is one of these guys who knows it from all aspects and takes the academic approach as well as the organic approach and melds them so beautifully. And to do it right, I think you really have to be able to do all of those things. And I'm not really bent that way. So.
And you're probably still loving just working every day.
I love doing what I'm doing, and I do coach on kind of a personal level at conventions and stuff. I'll spend moments with fans.
True.
My lines go really long because I'll spend an inordinate amount of time with each person.
He's a talker, this one.
I'm a talker. I get chatty.
I get a little chatty with the fans.
So then I was like.
But the most important coaching for me comes from the underlying aspect of any kind of work, which are things like we were talking about before, with gratitude and things like that. And I think that when you start building the foundation on that to me is the most important aspects of coaching.
Absolutely. Anyway, so. I mean, if you build the foundation on something right, then it's like it's going to be right from the bottom.
Possibility.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So a lot of actors that I know, voice actors, don't have managers.
Yeah.
You have a manager, right?
No, I don't have a manager.
You don't have a manager.
She's my partner and the love of my life, Trina, does like she's right here. She is.
Hi, Trina.
Hi, honey. Yeah, isn't she pretty?
She's gorgeous.
She manages.
He has voices in his head and imaginary friends.
I do.
Wow.
So your imaginary love of your life.
She's so hot.
Yeah.
She manages my convention stuff.
Oh, okay.
So all of my appearance stuff. So technically she's my manager, and she's my business manager also. She does all the books and that sort of thing. But as far as managing, getting me out there for doing gigs and stuff, she doesn't do any of that stuff.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking, nobody else has a manager that I know. Why does Steve?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah. Well, she's my manager.
Awesome.
She tells me everything I need to do, everything I haven't done that should do, and when to be where I need to be.
But look how beautifully it's all come out. So something's working.
It's like I'm never late, and people still like me.
Gosh darn it, people
I act like I know what I'm doing. Was there any advice that you've gotten along the way that's helped you in your career?
I don't know if this made it to tape before, but Jack Angel told me that the audition is the job. Did that make it before? Yeah, because that was a huge piece of advice.
You did say that earlier, but it warrants a second. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
let's say it once again so everybody can hear this.
The audition is the job. Yeah, the job is really just the icing on the cake. It's all playtime. It's all wonderful, but if you don't invest yourself as fully as you possibly can in that audition moment, or even preceding the audition moment in the room with the other actors and just giving the best that you can possibly be, then the job itself is pointless. So
you're absolutely right.
So for me, the money is great when it comes.
Yeah.
But I have just as much fun in the booth, not necessarily every day because sometimes you just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But I have just as much fun doing the auditions and the whole process of acting, whether I'm getting paid for it or not. Don't tell Arlene.
Yeah, don't tell.
Don't tell my agent.
Well, but I mean, even at your level, you still audition.
Yeah.
And you don't get every job.
Oh, no.
So if you're not investing the audition as if it were the job, then, and you're only waiting for those moments when actually you're getting paid in a session, I mean, you're not going to be very happy.
No. And that's the thing. I do like 30 auditions for every job I book, if that. And you have to be happy and you have to be grounded.
You probably shouldn't say that out loud.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you should.
Because the norm is 100 for every job. So if you're doing 30 for every job, you're way above average.
I
don't even know if that number's accurate. I'm not good at math. That's why I'm a voice actor.
Just say 3,000. He does 3,000 auditions for every job. Get out there and audition.
No, but seriously, anymore, just getting the audition is a win. Because it's not about, I mean, the booking is amazing, but just even getting the opportunity to audition when there's just a few, that's huge.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, when I've been blasting out screaming for 4 hours and I come home and the auditions come in at 6, 7, 8, 9 at night, and I have to get them done that night, sometimes I'll have a pile and I'll be slogging through the auditions and when I first see them, sometimes I'll say, oh man, I gotta get this done tonight. And I actually have to stop myself before I start recording, and I'll say, I get to do these. I actually get to do the auditions.
Yeah. Get your thinking right.
And get back into that place of gratitude, and it carries it through, and it actually changes the performance of everything too. So, and
yeah, well, at least you can get super, super excited about your every 30 audition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you know that's
you're
the
like,
one
this
you're
is the
gonna book,
keeper.
Man.
This is the one.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what's this? Oh, this is 30. This is mine. It's 7-Eleven.
And it's never the one I think it is.
That's
the
exactly.
Funny thing. Never the one I think it is. It's
Do
so
you
weird.
have a hard time just letting them go after you do them? Do you think about them, or do you just kind of?
Not really. Not really, because I know that one of my buddies, if I don't book it, one of my buddies is going to get it, and I cheer him on. And and very often for things, as a really good example, Batman. I've always thought I'm in the right voice space for Batman. And I've gotten to do Batman in very small things in the past, but there's been a lot of Batman coming around again. And you know, I'll read for it and I'll think, oh, well, maybe this is the one that I'm going to get. And then all of a sudden, one of my buddies will book it, and it's like, oh, it's so much better than I was going to do. And I'm really glad that he got that, because I'm a fan also. You know, so I just want the best person in the role.
Yeah. That's
what
so
do you
cool,
think are your strengths as a voice actor?
Wow.
You have some.
Well,
He's like,
that's
I do.
a really good question.
Yeah.
I
mean,
never thought about
one
that
of
before.
them, I'm going to answer for you.
Good. Thanks.
What are Steve's strengths as a voice actor?
Tell me about
this
me.
one that I know about you. It's a good one. Wait a minute, I forgot. Who is that? No, dude, the fact that you are so cool and your thinking and your foundation that's been taught to you from years earlier. I mean, that right there is a huge strength. I don't know a lot of people that have your thinking. So now you tell us some more.
Well, but that's probably true. That's probably true, because I feel like I'm grounded.
Yeah.
So that really helps. I don't go in with a lot of stress, and I don't worry about when the next job is going to happen or what the next paycheck's going to look like or any of that stuff. I just go in and do the job and have fun doing it, and I work in a very organic manner, and so that's always worked to my favor. And I'm pretty versatile. I feel like I can, change at a moment's notice. I'll go in thinking I'm going to do a Caribbean dialect, and I end up doing a German dialect. And there are a lot of us that can do that, but some that can do it better than others, and that happens to be one of my strengths. I'm not a good impressionist. I leave that to those guys. So I know where my strengths are and what I'm just not good at.
What do you think makes a really good client-agent relationship? What's been your experience?
She believed in me from the very beginning. I think that's what worked more than anything else, is that when I went to her, I came from another agency where they didn't believe that I could do what I could do. And she saw something that she could work with. And whether it was developed or not, she felt like she could work with it. And she's a boutique agency. She's a smaller agency. And she was willing to help me nurture the skills that I didn't have, which was even more important than working with what I did. And so I really hadn't done much commercial work before. And she kind of guided me through that whole process. And then helped me to get better. They have some great booth directors too. And they helped nurture me through that whole process and taught me how to self-direct, which a lot of us do now. I have a studio at home, so I do that all the time. And she trusts me. She knows that I'm going to show up on time and I'm going to do a good job. And so there's a lot of mutual trust there. And we've also become kind of like a family. We stay in touch all the time, and even when we're not working, we stay in touch, and we're friends. And so I think that's really important. If you can do that with your agent, I think that's a great thing. Some agencies are just too big to do that. But the trust has got to be there, and they really do have to believe in you and push you. And if you're in one of these big agencies where they're catering to all the celebrities and you're not getting any time, then you should probably go somewhere else.
I'm going to agree with you.
Well, thank you.
You mentioned you're welcome. You mentioned your
that
studio.
That will not be edited out.
What do you have in your studio? Like what gear do you use?
What's your gear, your software?
I have such a basic box. It's really funny.
Yeah, but let us know.
I'm in a closet. I have a closet that I built 2 doors for and put them on wheels and then foamed them up. I have 4-inch Orlex foam on them. And then I thought that wasn't good enough, so I'm going to build a 3rd door. And I was working with a laptop and M-Box. And I was getting a little noise from the M-Box, so I built a 3rd wall. And I thought, well, that's a little bit better. And then I realized there was only this much space between that and the wall. So Trina, my manager, said, well, why don't you just build a door? See, she's so smart.
She's so quiet.
Honey, I love her. She said, why don't you just build a door on it? So I hinged this door, and it's a fully functional door, and then I bolted everything to the ceiling. And so now I actually have this room that's got 4-inch Orlex all the way around.
Wow.
and it's dead, and it has a great tone in there. And I use a Shure KSM 27 microphone, which isn't a super high-end one, but it's a large diaphragm, indestructible, which was most important for me because I swing around a lot.
You're going to be punching it on the wall.
And it sounds beautiful. And so now I've upgraded my computer. I've got a better Mac, and I use Pro Tools.
Nice.
And just
That's why he's having success. Mac,
baby. Mac. Which camera? I'm not an on-camera guy. That one.
Well, let's kiss goodbye to Microsoft sponsorship.
Mac kids.
Yeah,
but I actually have. I'm now on the road. I was taking my whole little portable Pro Tools rig. I had brought the same mic, and I brought a laptop, and whatever. And so now I've actually scaled down to an iPad and this little Apogee mic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Apple USB. Yes.
And it's fantastic. I throw the covers up over my head and I record in there, and it's crystal clear.
What app do you use to record on?
Twisted Wave.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I record sometimes even in my iPhone. I keep the mic in my car, and sometimes I can't get home in time to record, and I'll record in the car.
Yeah.
And send the
Twisted
audition
Wave
off.
is great on the road.
fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
It really is.
S. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
So easy. Yeah.
So good.
That's really easy. So.
Yeah. Right on, man. What do you still hope to accomplish, man? As a, hold on, make it wide. Since we're getting deep, let's go deep. As a voice actor, as a father, as, you know, a friend.
Wow. Well, I've kept my kids alive so far, so so I can check that one off the list.
Beautiful.
Now they're on their own.
Congratulations.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I want to learn a language. I'm actually studying
A language?
A language, yeah.
Rosetta Stone, I hear,
Rosetta
is very,
Stone.
very good.
I just got it.
You just got it?
I don't want to say what the language is yet because there's a reason, and it has to do with my son, but it's a surprise coming up later on.
So you're learning a new language.
I'm learning a new language, and I never thought I would be able to do that in my lifetime because I'm stupid that way. And there's a lot of things I'd like to accomplish. I'd like to be a better musician. At some point, I'd not necessarily be pro, but I'd really like to learn the guitar. I never really learned the neck of the guitar. I needed to learn it. And I've always played by ear, and I'm a pretty good rhythm player, but just could never read the way I wanted to do. So I'd love to learn instruments, piano. I used to play sax. I'd really like to be proficient at all those at some point.
You can learn guitar, compose a song in the new language that you've learned, and cut an album.
Now we're talking.
Dream big,
Did you just hear that?
Dream big.
Now you have a new dream.
I got new direction.
We're going to check back in a year. We're going to put you back on the show. And see
Yeah, exactly. Jack Angel, eat your heart out.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, man.
That's awesome, though.
But
Good
who
for
knew
you.
that I would have a new direction at Veal Buzz Weekly?
Yeah, right? What a trip. That's cool,
No, there's
man.
so much that I'd like to accomplish.
Yeah.
I have a lot of goals.
Yeah.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah, there you go. I love that.
Well, to button our love fest with Steve Blum, you're very active with charities, and you do different charity work. Can you talk about kind of how you approach that?
Yeah, well, when I go to conventions, I sell pictures, or I sell my autograph at conventions. I don't technically sell pictures, but I sell my autographs at conventions. And so every one I go to, I dedicate a certain amount to a charity, and it's either the charity they're promoting at the convention or something that's happening in my life. Done a lot of the disaster things. We did one for Japan. We did one for New Orleans. One of my friends, Jerry Gelb, who's a voice actor, an old-time friend, needs a neck surgery. It's a horrifying issue that he's got, and so we've raised some money for that, and we've done some stuff for autism and Sea Shepherd and all kinds of different things. A lot of animal charities too. We're very active in the animal community.
I love that. I'm an animal like you.
Yeah,
love
so
that.
A lot of stuff for shelters and things like that. So whoever seems to need it at the moment, and whatever we're motivated by and moved by in the moment, we try to do something all the time. So yeah, if there's any way that I can give back, I'm finally getting to the point in my career now where I can help to generate some dollars and some interest towards charities, and that feels really good.
I love it. Okay, we're putting you in the spot one more time.
So cool.
Pick a number, please, between 5 and 129.
Oh, no. 71.
71.
Wow.
Is that between those two? It is.
Yeah.
Math.
Wow, he wasn't kidding about the math.
Higher math.
Okay. If you could invent one new home appliance, what would it do?
That's a really good question.
I could answer that for you. No, I'm just kidding.
So many options.
What would it do?
It would correct me when I'm getting off my path.
Oh.
How's that for deep, huh?
Wow.
No appliance does that yet, except for Trina.
Yeah.
Trina.
Trina.
Magic invisible
But when she's
Trina.
not home,
Yes.
When she's not home.
my Porta-Trina would get me back on the right path. Yeah.
Poor Trina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
Say Portrina? Yeah.
Portrina.
I got to tell you something, dude.
She gets that a lot.
You could be an app. She could be an app, and then she could go.
You
I
have
love
just
it.
made it into my Guinness book of one of the coolest
All-time
guys
coolest people
on the planet,
Awesome,
no
man.
doubt. And
Well,
it's
thank you.
such a pleasure to have you here sharing
Thank
with
you
us,
so
man.
much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much,
having
Steve.
me. This is full circle for me, dude. You have no
I know.
idea.
So cool, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We
And
wish
wonderful
you.
to finally meet you.
I know. We just
And
continued
Jory.
amazing success.
Say hi to Jory.
Hey,
And
Jory. Hey, Jory.
Jory.
He's back there. Oh, no, there's
There
a
he
hand.
is.
Jory hand.
Jory doesn't like to be seen on camera.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Put it
All
there.
right.
Boom. Get down. We'll talk at you later.
Thanks for
Bye.
all the great questions,
Bang.
guys.
Yo, people, Steve Blum here. I just got buzzed by Chuck and Stacy. That's why I'm wearing the hat, because it was not really very well done. That's not their forte. Anyway, it was an awesome show. These guys are amazing. It was full circle for me. Chuck did my promo like 200 years ago, so this is full circle in my career, in my life, and I got to meet Stacy for the first time, and I'm a big fan, so check this show out, because it is worth your time, or I'll find you. I'll hunt you down. I know where you live. I can see you. You're right here.
Well, I'm sure you guys got some new food for thought there from our friend Steve Blum. What a cool guy, right?
Terrific. Terrific guy.
Absolutely. We're going to be back next week with another incredible show for you.
Absolutely. Between now and then, keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, you guys, at VO Buzz Weekly. Take care until next week, and just remember, you always have time for a little buzz.